Hello, Dr. Berg here again. Today we're going to talk about the biggest mistake that I made with my breakfast that nearly killed me. There's a handful of mistakes to talk about. Then I'm going to get to the biggest one. Let's start with number one, the type of coffee that you drink. Of course, in college, I drank way too much coffee, but it's not necessarily the coffee that's the problem. It's the type of coffee that you're drinking. I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but coffee beans are one of the most sprayed crops behind cotton and tobacco. You're literally drinking a super concentrated soup of a lot of pesticides. Out of all the things that you're exposed to, it's the single greatest source of concentrated toxins that you expose yourself on a daily basis. Then on top of that, if you're adding sugar to your coffee, or if you add the non-dairy creamers with all the seed oils and chemicals, or maybe even flavored coffees, that would be even worse. The simple solution is just to use organic coffee beans. Number two, orange juice. If you think orange juice is healthy, what you don't know is that you're basically just drinking sugar water, because most, if not all, orange juice is pasteurized. And when they heat this orange juice, they kill off and destroy the vitamin C. You're not really getting nutrition. You're getting a lot of concentrated sugar. One small cup of orange juice is equivalent to a soda. Also, your liver is going to be affected from the fructose. What's going to happen is you're going to be spiking your blood sugar, and it's going to come down in about an hour and a half. And now you're going to be wanting something sweet. Personally, I'm not thirsty in the morning, so I don't drink anything, but you can do tea, coffee, water with lemon, but I wouldn't do the juice. Number three, my breakfast used to be very carb heavy. Cereals, granola bars, blueberry muffins, pancakes and waffles, and definitely toast. Of course, the cereals are the worst because they have so many hidden sugars and they're camouflaged with the healthy whole grains, which is totally BS. After the breakfast, spike in sugar, I end up with low sugar because insulin's coming in there and pushing it down, and now my brain doesn't have any energy. This is what happened for years and years and years. I couldn't wake up in the morning. This so-called fuel is not really fueling our brains. It's literally starving our brains the more we consume it. At that time, I really bought into the whole grain cereals, and of course you need to get rid of all that fat from the bacon. I would literally take paper towels and I would push out or dampen the oil or the fat from the bacon. That was my way of being healthy. How many kids are just grouchy and irritable, and they can't just be calm because their blood sugar is so up and down? And instead of fixing the diet, they put them on psych drugs. Crazy. What I'm going to tell you is a very simple fix. It's so simple and so powerful. All you have to do is switch to a protein breakfast. That's it. And watch how fast your body improves. Simply consume eggs and bacon. I would do 4 eggs in the morning and some bacon. You can also do cheese. That works. You can also do yogurt, but I would do the whole fat yogurt without any added sugar. It's not the best source of protein, but it's definitely better than the sweetened yogurt. A steak would work really good. I also have done the burger patties, buffalo burgers, beef patties. Oh my gosh, that works really good too. Another mistake that I made with breakfast food is consuming just fruit and maybe sometimes nuts. Like I would take an apple and put peanut butter or a handful of nuts with fruit, maybe banana. And so mid-morning, I would need to eat again because bananas and apples are very high in sugar. On top of that, I would always need a snack mid-afternoon. That was also a mistake because it raised the blood glucose and it kept the insulin spiking through the day. A step up from that would be a protein snack if you had the choice. You can do cheese, you can do a little bit of meat like charcuterie. You'd never want to snack with carbohydrates. Next mistake that I was making is I was using a lot of peanut butter and I never read the label because on the label they added hydrogenated oils as well as added sugar and sometimes high fructose corn syrup. This relates to the next mistake. When I would cook or fry potatoes in the pan for breakfast, I would always use corn oil. It's highly processed, but it's healthy, right? Because it says it on the label. You want to cook in butter or olive oil or coconut oil or lard. You don't want to cook in seed oils. Next mistake I made was My meats had sugar and starches in them. Breakfast sausage, right? If you ever read the ingredients of that, they put modified food starch in there. There's sugar in there. There's wheat flour in there. There's very little meat in there. Of course, my bacon always had sugar in it. The next mistake, and I have a lot of videos on this, which I probably should take down. They're older videos. I was really pushing kale shakes with fruit. I would sometimes recommend spinach instead of kale, which is just loaded with oxalates, right? Then you're going to add fruit in there. You're going to blend this up. The mistake that I made back then was not adding high quality protein, especially for breakfast. But now let's get into my biggest mistake that caused more destruction than anything else combined. Eating when I wasn't hungry. It was thinking that breakfast was the most important meal of the day. That actually is not true information. Here you are, you go to bed, all night long you're not eating, you're fasting. In the morning, then you screw it up by eating. You're not really hungry in the morning. Most people are not hungry unless they've eaten something sweet the day before. There's so many wonderful, magical things that happen in your body when you fast for a longer period of time. So let's say, for example, last night, the last meal was at 6, and you can push through and not have breakfast and skip the breakfast and go all the way to lunch. Now you have a good 18 hours of fasting. You're able to burn your own fat to lose more weight. You get to run on not just your own fat, but the ketones that are a byproduct of fat, and your brain loves them. You get to reverse insulin resistance, all the years of eating carbohydrates. Your mood goes up, appetite goes away, mostly from skipping breakfast. When I was 28, I was eating all the wrong things. I had arthritis. I had brain fog. I was a pre-diabetic. I started gaining weight. But other than that, I was doing pretty good overall. And I'm just being sarcastic. To get more information on what that's called, it's called intermittent fasting. I created a very detailed video for you, a guide that you can learn from all the details. And I put it right here. Check it out right now.